Let's start. Are we here? We're here. Wow. Let's start the intro.
Why? Why is it like this? The haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why? Why is it like this? Instead of haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous.
Hi.
Hello.
We're back, and I think the audio works.
Mic's on.
And I'm hoping it's not echoey, but we're not poorly.
Yes, we're in full health.
There's no curse anymore, hopefully. Touch wood.
This is all famous last words. So if anybody is Sophie,
anybody's watching. That's so. If anybody is out there, if anyone cares to watch us, is
Please
my
let
top
us
see
know.
through? Maybe a little bit. Might get the views up. I'll take it. So this week is basically a redo of the cursed week that was last week.
because it's such an important topic, we couldn't just move on.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, I think you must be seeing it in your Instagram too, post after post of people really worried, really scared about this medication shortage.
And the worst thing is people that have only just found medication, have found this kind of new and improved version of life, and now they're having to struggle again. And I think potentially that's harsher.
Yeah, there's two sides, isn't there? There's the people that have experienced this like new life change, and
I'll get that.
just fell over. It's most ADHD stream, but when is it not? Yeah, you've got the two camps: the people that have experienced this new lease of life, this like making sense of the world after it being so hard for them during school or whatever. And then there's also the people that have been on the waiting list themselves for about 18 months, if not longer, 24 months. I'm reading some really long times.
I've been for over 24 months.
Over 24 months. And so these people at the minute are not getting, they're the last priority basically to be getting the medications. And that's really scary. That's really worrying for both parties. I'm coming from the experience, the change in my life, and that idea of going back to the mess, the feeling like
without
I'm just
support.
not good enough. Yeah. And I've had 10 years now of being like, God, I'm not stupid. There's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
I've achieved my degree. I've got all this stuff to be proud of. And this idea of it all falling by the wayside just because I don't have this key ingredient that keeps my life together. So yeah.
Well, what we're going to hopefully share is some ideas to maybe kind of bridge that gap if you are stuck, if you are without medication. But first, we're going to do a few announcements.
Yeah, there's a few things that we did cover last week, but it was very echoey and horrible. So we'll just
quickly cover those
rejig the
again.
things in. Yeah. So
the event is the Celebrate Our Similarities. I know I spoke about this last week, but as Steph said, it was really echoey. So our wonderful friend who we met through networking in Leicestershire, she's called Camilla, and she runs Celebrate Our Similarities, which we really love working with because we are a different human design and they are Celebrate Our Similarities. And we've got the word different and similarities going on. But our kind of vision of acceptance and peace and diversity is absolutely the same. So this Monday coming, Monday the 30th, there's going to be a World Mental Health Day celebration. You can see the poster right there. We're going to be there, aren't we?
We're going to be there. I absolutely love Camla's events. We've done a few of them in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
They've just been brilliant to talk to other people and just get a better understanding of what else is out there, what else is going on.
And that's the thing, because in Leicester itself, where we're based, there's some incredibly good initiatives, and they're very much very similar to us, where it's just somebody that's got an idea in their head and they want to make something better, and they've just ran with that idea, and then the initiative has grown around it. So this event will be really good for us to get our heads together and make sure that everybody knows what everybody is offering. On our website, we try to signpost anyway, so we'll be updating that, I'm sure, after visiting there. But as you can see, 6 p.m. Monday the 30th. I've got a text message awaiting reply from Hayley. So if you are watching, Hayley, yes, we are going, and we can all go together.
Wait to see you, Hayley.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we'll see a few of your faces there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll be driving there. So if anybody wants to jump in my car.
Just to be clear, she's got a car. She's not with the bus, so she can't take a full group of people.
Yeah. And
oh, you've got more than mine, sweetheart. I know that.
I like that idea of having a smart car, because when we went to a wedding this weekend, and obviously I don't drink, so you automatically become designated driver, and it's like, hold on a minute, this is my privilege that I get to just leave. I don't have to ferry everyone else around because you're all drinking.
Yeah, you just touched on one of the best aspects of having a smart car.
That's why I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Can I give you a lift? Yeah. Oh, is there more than two of you? Oh, more than one of you?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You've got kids. Oh, sorry.
Just room.
It's just no room. Sorry. Oh, I might be able to fit in the. It's just not safe.
So yeah, hopefully Monday the 30th, you're not all partied out from the Halloween weekend, and we'll see you there.
Definitely. There is a.
And then, yeah, on a
slightly more sad note.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Very sad.
But we're looking for a bit of your help here, because sorry, I'm trying to do too much right now.
There has been the tragic passing of somebody that's in my family/friendship group by the name of Mark. You can see up here we've got a GoFundMe going. His death was quite sudden. It was too soon. He's nowhere near kind of the age where you can say, oh well, it's expected and all of that. So there's a lot of upset people, but we are rallying around. We're trying to raise some money so that we can give him the send-off that he deserves. Now, this guy who was so kind, like, if you went round his house, it was always full of cats, dogs, he was very much a giving, kind of person. And he extended that beyond animals. It was humans as well. It was kind of, the house where, where those waifs and strays type thing end up, and in a way that's kind of our community. We've found that because
100%.
we're all different, we have all collected together and found this community of different people. So it is something that's really kind of struck a chord with me, and I'd love it if we can help them boost that target there.
Yeah,
it's already, since I looked earlier, it's increased quite a lot. So I'm hoping that that we'll reach that £1,000 soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to show we're not telling you to do stuff that we haven't. Lindsay's been extremely generous. It's it was only 5 hours ago.
Yeah, this has only been set up today, and he unfortunately passed at the weekend.
You guys have been making it.
But even if, please don't feel like you've got to give a lot. Even if we could get 10 people to give £1 each, that's another £10 towards the total. So
100%.
do not feel embarrassed like, oh, I can't afford to give a tenner. If you put £1 on there, that's going to encourage other people to put £1 on there, and it's going to, it's all going to help towards the total at the end of the day.
Definitely. People have different incomes, different lives going on. Do you know what I mean? There's not everyone can afford this. And even if you can't afford £1, a share would be so
incredible.
Important. It would be. So let's try and give Mark the lovely send-off that he really deserves. He was a treasure on this earth. So
definitely celebrate those people that give without the intention to take. So
yeah, definitely. And if you're wanting the link, then I will put it in the description below after the stream's finished.
Just in eternal peace to Mark.
Rest in peace, Mark.
On with the show.
I'm showing the behind the scenes. It's so graphic. So I suppose actually go straight into that, because we covered a bit about Ditch the Knife. I swear it was last week.
Well, yeah, last week was the curse week. It was the week before we spoke about that Tyler is doing the October sober, and He's raising money, isn't he?
His
But yeah.
his initiative is Ditch the Knife, and is it Ditch the Knife, Value Life, or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. And it's all about reducing knife crime, basically. Does he just work in Leicestershire? Is it?
Currently, he's based in Leicestershire, but he's kind of networking. There's a lot of these initiatives going on in cities, so he's connected to lots of other cities.
Yeah.
There's a really big one in Liverpool that's really proactive. But his main drive is to get these bleed kits, so that if there is an incident, we've got the first aid available.
So he's held events and stuff, right? Like boxing, and this is all money to raise money for these stab kits.
Yeah, I mean any kind of high
Control
blood loss.
kits. And something that he recently, the last 2 days, he's highlighted 2 separate stabbings that have happened in Leicestershire. And he posted this one, and this is what really got my attention, because I have to admit, I don't know how to use a bleed control kit. And he says here, yet another 2 incidents in the matter of days in the city. This one there is a bleed control kit located on the other side of the Haymarket. That's a bus station in Leicester.
Mm-hmm.
So he makes him wonder how many people can identify a bleed control kit, and who has been trained with the bus station to be aware of it being there, or even how to use it.
That's definitely something. Tyler's keen to come on, so we could have him on chat. We could bring a bleed control kit on. We could go through it so that you can see what's in there. I know that there's a clear plastic dressing. Because the idea is that if there is a wound that's losing blood, you need to cover it. So you cover it with this clear plastic dressing. Then when the paramedics arrive, they can still see what's going on without having to remove the dressing. So I know that that's in there. But there's lots of kind of ways to control the bleed quickly, and that's the thing. I think it's 7 minutes it takes for somebody to.
That's insane.
Bleed, so.
And my God, I'm really bad with like pressure of time anyway. I'm already like, how quick is time going? So that 7 minutes, I must feel like a minute, if not less.
Course.
So yeah, who else would like Tyler to come and teach us all how to, one, use a bleed kit, and how to identify where they are?
Yeah.
Is there a certain sign that's put in places? Is there someone that you should be asking within?
It's similar to those the ones that get your heart going again, isn't it? The
defibrillator.
Yeah, that's it. Because again, they've been put out and about, but I've been told in the past how to use it. But again, I think, do you have to ring 999 and then they give you the code? And I'm not quite sure. So it'd be good to find out about all of it, wouldn't it?
Highlighting my ignorance yet again. I have got no idea. So yeah, let's learn that stuff.
Yeah, we'll find out. Watch this space.
Watch this space, indeed. And we went to see. I'll start with Easy Life, because that was the most.
That was
one.
Yeah, well, that was what we wanted to talk about last week, but we didn't obviously get round.
We had the best time. I'm sure you've posted loads from the
actual gig.
I like most of the time. I've just not been able to edit it and put it together, but thankfully you've been up.
Yeah, I've put a couple of bits up on the TikTok and on the Instagram. It was such an emotional night, wasn't it? It was such a heavy night in the sense that we were so excited to be there. It was a Thursday, so it felt really kind of random. It was quite quick.
Out on a school night.
Yeah, out on a school night. Quite quickly organised, put together. And the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. I have never, ever experienced a gig that was that intense.
Felt like an arena. The amount of like energy
power
and like unison singing and like just the chanting from F EasyJet to like just shouting their name, and he's like, that's old news now, you got to think of it. And it's like, oh God, it was really hard. But the thing that I noticed, touching upon what you said, it was the people there. I have not been that familiar with Easy Life. I know it's something you and your friend Jem have been like really big into, a lot of your friends. I found out about them because of the EasyJet story, and they were great. It was really good. I'm there like, all right, you've got yourself a new fan. Let's hope this isn't the last.
And you're not the only person that said that. So many people hadn't heard of them before, and suddenly are fans now.
Definitely. So I hope this gives them, that horrible news gives them the good
the
coverage that they need. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But there's also another little bit of information that I think is quite interesting. So Easy Life weren't able to carry on their lawsuit because of the time that it would take and the money, and they're not being able to release music in that time. There is another saving grace here. I don't know if you've heard of Easy Fundraising. but it is a
We use them. That's why I'm.
yeah, we use them, and that's what was amazing for like if you want to it's basically an app that, say for example, you buy something from Just Eat. If you go through this app, click on the Just Eat thing, it will tell you what you get for it, and you don't pay any more than you would for your Just Eat or for whatever you've ordered, but a percentage of that will go to the
Your
charity
chosen
that
cause.
you've chosen. So yeah, I mean, how long have you had yours open?
I think I started it quite early on, so I'm just going to get the app up now and see if it says. But we have had at least £60 from Easy Fundraising in that time. So, like Steph said, if you do your shopping through Easy Fundraising, Booking.com, Amazon, there's so many sites on there. So you just go through the app to do your shopping as normal, and then they donate to us. So it's an absolutely fantastic app. I'm just going to find cause donations. So they the donations so far, we have had £170 raised for us. That's not all been paid yet because you have to raise so much each quarter for it to come through. But it's literally 2p, 46p, 33p, 2p, you know, from all the people that are supporting us. But it's such a good app to support us from.
It's insane. And it adds up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you feel like you're a little bit like, oh, I keep getting too many Just Eats, justify it by knowing that like 12p, 50p will be going to us at no cost at your.
But the reason we're bringing Easy Fundraising up is because
I don't know if you've noticed their name. They have Easy in it. And the guy that runs this is not backing down. His lawsuit, the court date is due for, I believe, next summer.
so EasyJet are now taking on the EasyJet group are now taking on Easy Fundraising.
Yeah, so I think it started with them originally suing them, like the Easy Life situation. And instead of lying down and taking it, Easy Fundraising have said no. We will be fighting it.
Yeah, and the word easy is a very common word. So you can't just start claiming everywhere that's got easy at the front of it. So I'm glad Easy Fundraising have got the resources to stand up to it, because otherwise, where does it end?
Exactly.
It kind of jeopardizes that the word different could be the next word that everybody's decided that, you know, you can't be called that anymore because you've got the word different.
We'll be screwed. So bad. No.
It is
100%.
If we this thing to get out of control, then anybody could be targeted.
Yeah.
So go Easy Fundraising. We are back behind you in this latest battle.
Use them to support us, but also to just support this cause in general.
Yeah.
You can't claim the word easy.
I hope Stelios is put back in his box very soon.
100%. The tiny box that he came from.
Yes, he's obviously got an ego issue.
100%. So, such a teacher thing. So, not having anything else to say after it. We did something else cool. We will get onto the medication shortage. We're just onto it. If you saw the interview with Dora, we're ADHD the musical, Can I Have Your Attention, Please?
So good.
I loved speaking to her. She was very similar to you in the sense that she's like quite hyperactive, but then also understanding that you're both similar in the what's it called when you've got both
combined,
the combined type. Wouldn't know. I'd love some hyperactivity in my life, but it's all in my brain. But the ADHD the musical was amazing. I don't know fully what I was expecting, but it blew it out the water. She was just so funny, so moving, so powerful, the whole thing, really honest. She very much goes over her whole life and her own struggles with ADHD, the different aspects of it, the aspect of shame, the aspect of relationships. It just,
and I even loved that she covered the prison side of things, like the fact that, you know, up to 30% of the prison population are ADHD, and the ADHD people are, I think it was around 30 to 60%, I can't remember what she said, more likely to commit a crime. And then she was going into the fact that being poor is not a crime, but the fact that if you are from a working class or poor kind of family, then your ADHD does hit harder because you can't.
Yeah. Your education is less tailored for you. It's more just like spread out for, you know.
Well, even you go into
resources.
Work,
yeah, definitely.
You know, you've not got or you've not got the money for a gym membership, you've not got the money to eat the foods that they're saying are going to be better for your brain. There's all sorts of kind of factors that come into it, but that really struck home for me that being poor is not a crime, because the young people I work with, I watch them get funneled, you know, directly into the crime system, and it really frustrates me. So I was like, big ups for that, because it's such an important point to raise.
Definitely. And I think, you know, why are these people with ADHD ending up in prison? Why is that, you know, it's not so much that they couldn't sit still that much that they were such a nuisance that they ended up being criminal. It's this understanding, if you're treated or made to feel a certain way as a kid, like you're not enough, like you're not clever enough, like you're not going to amount to what your peers are, then what other options do you have? You come from a low income background, you've got no prospects.
You've been told you've got no prospects and that you're worthless.
You know, it's easy to see how people turn to crime, you know, just to have a means of living. But at the same time, there's also this risk behavior, the need for dopamine, and sometimes stealing gives you that.
Yeah.
So without, again, counseling, which costs a lot of money, without medical intervention, psychological intervention, you're screwed.
Well, the thing is, prisons are a business at the end of the day. There's money to be made, and that's why we don't clean up the system.
100%. It's
but the ADHD, the musical, it's still running for, I think, 3 more days or a couple more days. So there's still time to catch it down in London. And we would then be keen to see, well, where are you going next? Because everybody I've spoken to about it would love to have seen it.
Exactly the same.
You know, it's like, do we try and get it to Leicester kind of thing and arrange for...
I did actually message her to see what the plan was after it. I'm not sure if she's replied or not. So I'm not that big fan.
We will have a look. But yeah, the musical itself, it was very audience were being kind of dragged into it a little bit, like, so your input would then structure the way that the song went and things like that. So yeah, it was lots and lots of fun. But if we can get it to Leicester, we would definitely let you know.
100%.
We'll be hyping that for sure.
I've got all the inspiration I need to start my own musical. That's all I need. So let's go. Laura's gonna be like, please don't. But not to tread on toes. She's just filled me with inspiration.
Yeah, we both came away like, I want to write poetry. I just need to.
So yeah, who wants a different musical? So yeah, I'm so glad we went to there. And Camden in itself was just dopamine hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Moment after moment. And we got there late. It wasn't particularly good weather, but it was perfect. The colours, the lights, the people. It is the home of different.
Yeah, for sure. But I was like overwhelmed, but in such a good way. It was
yeah.
And then almost the first kind of indicator in the ADHD musical was, are you moved by music and visuals? And we just looked at each other. It was
the last 3 hours. Yeah, it was one. If you haven't been to Camden, 100% you need to go, especially if you're not from the UK. That must be an insane, like, it's the home of punks.
Yeah, it is a very cool city. Well, it's part of the city, I should say.
Part of the city. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you've ever been to London before. It often makes me feel a little bit sketchy, the people that walk past you. But
that area is so friendly.
It was just kids and families walking about, and it was only like 9 o'clock. So it's cool.
The ADHD musical actually raised some really good points that link really nicely into this medication shortage, such as the protective factors when it comes to ADHD and the factors that risk factors. Yeah, because one of the things that I'm always really kind of like I think about a lot is that my ADHD, for me, it has times, but overall it's mainly been quite positive. It's been recognized in more of a positive way rather than a negative way, but that's because I was brought up with a lot of the protective factors.
I'll take it for you. Yeah. Must be nice.
Why I was taking this whole platform, because it's like, for me, I want to kind of try and share that. Yeah. You know, that positivity that I felt. And also there must be loads of people out there that perhaps aren't even aware they're ADHD because it's not become problematic, because those protective factors have been there. So they're perhaps seen as, oh, they've got such a bouncy character, rather than, oh, look at that hyper child that won't stay still, because
Definitely.
you know, because of those protective factors. So I thought it actually made me cry when she raised that, but more because I was thinking about the students that I support.
Yeah,
And
I
that
know
it's
exactly
as
what
simple
you
as,
mean.
you know, it's as simple as some protective factors to raise that self-esteem and raise the emotion spotting and raise that kind of ability to cope, resilience, all of those things.
Definitely.
They're free, you know, and we're lacking them purely through lack of education and lack of awareness.
These institutions that are put in place to teach you and raise you and socialize you just aren't cutting it for 40%, 30% of the kids. So
Yeah, so let's change it. Tell you what though, my expos and education blog is getting so many hits. I don't know where it's getting those from, but it's had over 100 reads so far, which is like, I've been writing blogs for years, so I know kind of what an average is, if you see what I mean.
okay, yeah.
But I went on to Wix just to see where the traffic was coming from onto the site and how well we were doing and things like that. And it's still going to the third one down.
We'll ignore that one.
I need to change the title of it. Discuss him at all. It's just a community festival. But yeah, that we have to destroy it as an education. It's still
It's a
getting
read.
so much traffic, but I don't know where it's coming from.
You've got some really good insight, and I really enjoy your take on education, just purely for your own personal experience of being in education and now being the tutor that these kids need. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It must be such a good full circle moment, but at the same time, you must be pulling your hair out like,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, I'm not afraid to speak mine to education. So I think that a lot of people are trapped in by their job. So I'm just like, well, I'm just going to say it how it is.
Yeah, definitely. I know one of the reasons that I first contacted you is because I was like, hey, what are you doing? And how do I do better? And that's what it can lead to. So yeah, if you haven't heard already, I'm sure you have, especially if you're ADHD and taking medication due to it. There's been a shortage, not just in the UK, but globally. And this started back at the start of the year with Adderall, which is very commonly used, commonly prescribed medication for ADHD, especially in America. And due to them prescribing alternate medicines such as Concerta, Ritalin, these medications have now also reduced. And it's not just those three, there's a bunch of them now. It is very difficult to get medication for ADHD. And a lot of if you see here, excess, increased demand. During COVID, there was a very large rise of people being diagnosed with ADHD or self-diagnosing themselves with ADHD and looking for the help that they need. And a lot of people cynically tell you that this is a COVID thing and people are getting softer and everyone just thinks that, and it's far from it. It's very easy to see how people will just had the time to actually address these illnesses, to address their mental health struggles. It wasn't just COVID. People were going to the doctors now about things that they had to put off because they were at work.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
seeing a doctor or getting an appointment from 8 in the morning just isn't always possible. It's actually one of the most difficult things to do in the UK, I think.
Yeah.
See your own doctor.
Definitely, especially if you are working class. So yet again, it comes down to the whole, it's not a crime to be poor, but you are, you know, penalised.
100%. I mean, I'm someone that goes to the doctors fairly regularly. I've got ADHD, I've got bipolar, anxiety, but I also have eczema. And I swear to God, trying to get help for any one of them four things is impossible. It's like, who's your doctor? I don't know. It's a different dude every time.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? There's no kind of caseload anymore.
Yeah, the last 5 times I've been about my eczema, I've been telling them what I need prescribed or what I need. And
Yeah.
they're going, what's that? Googling it. And I'm like, oh, can I get a doctor, please?
Or at least a doctor that knows my history
what they're
kind of thing,
doing.
that's dealt with you.
Just knows stuff, anything. Tell me a good story, do you know what I mean? Like, make me feel better in that. I don't know. So it's really important that we cover this because, yes, there is a rise in diagnosis, and that will keep going because there's people still waiting to be diagnosed, not just waiting on the waiting list to be assessed. Like, there's so many people, and there's more and more people every day realizing, that's me. When they're getting help for their kids, and they're like, I fit these boxes.
And why should you get the medical support if it's out there and it's going to help?
Believe it's your human right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many others do. So yeah, it's been issued a warning. I got my text this week saying that we have, they're due to the shortage to contact my doctor and arrange alternative.
That must feel quite scary as well.
The doctor don't even know who I am.
That's
Yeah, it's terrifying. And an aspect that I really struggle with is I know a lot of people don't necessarily need medication for ADHD, but there is still a fraction of people, a decent percentage of people that cannot get better or cannot thrive without these medications. And I was explaining to Lindsay earlier that I'm actually quite, thankfully, because of the many days that I've forgotten to take mine, and you know when it is because you're halfway through the day going, nothing works. I just want to retire for the day. And so I've got a surplus, if you like, a backup of ones that I haven't taken. So I'm a little less worried than a lot of people. But that in itself should tell you that ADHD medication, although it is a stimulant, is not addictive if you are ADHD, because I wouldn't have forgotten to take any of them. I've taken many drugs in the past, and believe me, I never forgot about any of them until they were gone.
I read recently as well a bit of research that for those that aren't ADHD that take ADHD meds, so I think in America it's a little bit more common, but if you're studying for exams, those that aren't ADHD and take those meds, it actually reduces your productivity.
100%, yeah, I read the same study.
Yeah, so hopefully that is gonna, if there are people out there that are tempted because they're thinking, well, I want a bit of that. It's like, if your brain isn't wired like that, it will not work for you anyway.
Exactly.
So, there's been this kind of blame culture, hasn't there? Or it's because of the increase. Well, that increase was clearly needed. Like, people needed those meds, else the meds wouldn't have been working.
100%. This idea that everyone's out there to get a free prescription, a free hit or whatever, like, no. And there is actual people out there struggling with addiction. So if you actually care about that, put your efforts towards them.
Yeah. So have you ever come across any tactics or things that have helped you manage? Because there's a lot of people out there that do go without medication as well. So we want to share those things to try and give you some hope.
Yeah, 100%. But for just the medication. No, I'm joking. The medication obviously is a big part for me. And knowing that this is a temporary thing is also something that's helping me. But yes, there's multiple things that you can do and I have done, and it does help me. So lifestyle, what are you eating?
Yeah, see, it's so tricky, isn't it? Because as an ADHD person, you go for convenience or even
safe foods.
Yeah, safe foods, or even I struggle to have an appetite at all sometimes if I'm in a certain cycle where I can go all day and it'll get to 10 o'clock at night and then I'll feel really like anxious and I've got to eat all of a sudden. Yeah. Then I want to eat something. Not necessarily what we should be eating, but foods high in sugar are really bad for our brains.
High in sugar, the amount of fat is not as bad as we used to think it was. If you're getting good non-saturated fats, they're actually very good for the brain. Your omega-3s, what is it? Your fatty acids.
Yeah, and proteins as well. 100%. High protein foods are really good.
Just get that varied diet. And also, if you do slip and you do eat a lot of sugar, don't have a go at yourself. Just be like, okay, tomorrow or the next meal I have, it will be back to my... Don't try not to fall into that, like... Because I do it all the time. Like I said, if you ever order Deliveroo too much, that's me.
But that's passionate internal dialogue.
100%.
Really, really work on that, because we were talking again about it at college today, that if you berate yourself, your body will react the same way as if somebody else is doing it. So even though you're like, oh, I'm an idiot, your body is actually releasing stress hormone in response to that, the same way as if somebody else was there calling you an idiot. So please try and be kind to yourself.
Your body's responding to that stress in the exact same way. And so
hydration,
self-care, hydration. So we'll start diet, which includes obviously hydration. Internal voice, be good to yourself. Self-care, which obviously a load of other things fall under that, but you mentioned a really good one outside. I'm just putting my hands over my face.
Exercise,
which helps me. Do I do it? No.
That's the thing. We're not sitting here saying, oh, all this. We know that doing the things is going to be the battle.
That's why I take the meds.
But yeah, we want to learn from these things so that, you know, just to as reminders that exercise. I've read some research that's recently been released to do with if you take part in moderate to high intensity exercise, following on from that, you will have the same results, the same effects as the medication for up to 2 hours. So for me, I'm thinking I'm usually okay in the morning. I'm usually slipping by lunchtime. By 2 o'clock, I could honestly fall asleep. So it's that remembering or asking your boss, seeing if there's any bosses out there listening, thinking about at lunchtime, can I encourage people to get outside and have a walk? You know, breaking your day up with that physical movement will hopefully give you that extra boost for the concentration.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It's one of the things like you struggle to start it, but once you probably start it and you get into that habit of it, it will be something that you maybe you look forward to in your day because it actually gives you that structure. It gives you that time to process thoughts, to focus. It's so a bit of alone time. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're just running or just walking.
High cardiovascular exercise, so boxing, running, anything like that is super good for our brain as well, because what it does is your brain goes through and cleans itself out basically. So any like connections that haven't been used for a long time or that are broken or whatever, and that's why you feel so clear after cardio exercise. It is so good for our brains in particular.
A lot of expressive therapies that are a lot into like movement therapy and dance therapy, they believe that trauma is locked in the body.
I've read into a lot of that, so and I kind of believe
just move it off. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like a dog or a cat when they've come out of a situation, they shake it off. If they hit themselves on something and like, they'll shake it off.
They shake the trauma out
every single time, and it is literally, and I know it sounds stupid, but give yourself a shake.
Because I realised I'm such an empath and I'm taking on everybody's energies that when I get home, you walk through the door, have a good like physically shake that energy off. But actually, it is really good for the trauma.
And you can be as like free and expressive as you want, or you can literally start with your ankles.
I always do that, wrists and ankles. Big stuff.
Is that ADHD?
Word finding, it's the word organisation.
But you've just touched on another great thing, and that's hacking your brain. Your brain works in a certain way, and most of the time it goes against you. But through knowing these hacks, you can make it work so easily for you because your brain responds in that same way. So if you are struggling to get up and do a task, your brain sat there, you've got decision paralysis, whatever it is going on, you just cannot kick in for the day. Get your favorite song on that gets you hyped. Don't even think about what you're going to do after. Just get it on and get dancing. Just however you enjoy that song. Maybe I'm someone that just sits there, but get it moving, because as soon as your brain realizes, I'm up now, you're getting that bit of dopamine that lets us have a little bit, and that can be enough to just go, right, well, I'm up now, I can do, and watch how easy it is. It's the same as I always say, if you don't know how to start your day working, if you're like, again, paralysis, not knowing where to start, just open your laptop with a cup of coffee and just start browsing. Just go on your emails. Just start, I'll just answer a few emails that I haven't. Watch yourself just start working.
The other one that I read recently was like this girl had got like a whole drawer that she wanted to clear out. That was her task for the day. And because of the paralysis and she couldn't make a start, she literally was like, okay, I'm just going to do one thing. I'm just going to put that pen where it should be. And she was like, celebrated it. And why not?
Yeah, you get that dopamine from that bit, so you can do the next bit.
And just do one thing and celebrate it. And actually, by celebrating it, you'll break the boundary and you'll get on with like a little bit.
Just stop that negative talk. You're starting to be good to yourself. I just did that.
It sounds so simple, like when we're talking exercise, hydration, self-talk, movement, because they're the things we should be doing to be healthy anyway.
Do that anyway.
But it just kind of, it's so much more important for an ADHD brain. They will feel the effects so much harsher by not doing those things than a brain that's not ADHD.
What's the chat saying?
Yeah, well, I've got a really good point that I want to make about lifestyle, how you set it up, but I'm going to go to the chat first.
See the chat. What are we saying?
I love what Loz is saying on there. So we've got some regular people that share their thoughts with us, and one of those is being really open with us and saying about they're on a certain med for anxiety.
Propanol.
Yeah, but
Propanolol.
he's he's actually gone private and been prescribed medical cannabis now. Now, that is another thing that I've read about that's really, really popping off in the ADHD community. Cannabis has now been legalized for medical use. I know Sapphire Clinic provide that. So if anybody's interested in it, you check out Sapphire Clinic.
Yeah. Again, not necessarily advocating for you to go using cannabis willy-nilly, but if you need help during this time and during any time, maybe it's your preferred choice of medication.
I'm a huge advocate for choice.
100%.
So for me, I've heard such great things about cannabis and experienced it in the past.
The evidence that's backs this up.
Yeah,
it's there,
and it's not for everyone. But that's why I'm an advocate for choice. I think it should be up to us to make a decision whether it's for us, not the government to decide. So I'm really enjoying that the UK is moving towards
100%.
that.
We've got this skewed idea of drugs being bad, haven't we? And it's like if you put that into the section, and yes, drugs bad, but when you look at heroin bad, but morphine when you need it to pain relief. Doctors are prescribing it left, right, and centre. Ketamine is now being used within therapy.
MDMA in Australia.
Microdosing mushrooms.
Yeah. So I think the
It's
more
all growing.
Yeah, definitely. And like Steph said, we can't necessarily sit here and say, yes, go out and try some drugs.
Go get yourself some crack, kids.
But do your research because do the research. There's somebody I follow on Instagram. I think it's called her Cannabis Diary or something like that. She's doing it all where you hide you anonymously, because again, I think she's probably in a role where she can't fully open up that she's using cannabis, but she wants to. She's using it through the medical prescribed, and she's keeping a note of how it affects her, and trying to just help us navigate it. I suppose.
And I don't think it's just for mental health. It's
fibromyalgia,
chronic pain disorders. There's a woman that I follow on Instagram. I can't remember her name right now, but she's in a wheelchair. She's got a sponsorship or whatever through Sapphire Clinic.
Oh, lovely.
And she rocks up in her wheelchair, lace underwear. She promotes lingerie.
Nice.
She's gorgeous, and she just rocks this fucking wheelchair. It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah,
normalize these things. Diversity is more normal than us all being the same.
100%.
The other thing is you don't have to smoke it. There is obviously oil. Yes. But it's in there's oils around, people taking a couple of drops of oil in the morning. It's not a case of just, smoke a big
100%. You might also find that CBD helps for you. If you get the full spectrum, it might be about 60 quid for a little thing, but medication's expensive anyway.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to go private. Yeah.
But Sapphire Clinic, if you're listening, we would love to have you on here and interview and find out a little bit more about how that's going. I have emailed them and shouted them out because I said, we are exploring alternative ADHD solutions.
I want to know what's the benefits, what are the risks, and I feel like actually speaking to Sapphire.
I actually did that in my humanities final exam thing. You had to pick a question and then you had to argue it for and against and then conclude. And my question was, should cannabis be legalized?
That's funny.
It was when I was 16, so it's 20 years ago. And I still, at the end of it, wasn't sure because I was like, there's pros and there's cons. And at the end of the day, I just think it should be down to the person to decide,
100%.
if this isn't doing me any good, this isn't for me.
I think in itself to see how many parents have spoken about their kids' epilepsy being better just by small amounts of cannabis that they are consuming. They're not smoking, it's a little bit of a cookie, and they don't have fits anymore. As a parent, how can you not give your child that? There's plenty of parents out there that would never consider smoking weed or never getting into drugs in the sense like that, but are now putting their livelihoods at risk, criminal risk, to just help their kids, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah, it does. The herbal vaporizer as well is another. So I think you put the dry herbs into the vape and it heats it up, and then it forces the vape to come out of the leaves or something like that. So I'm not sure if we've still got Bozo the Clown here.
Boring.
I know, but I think they were trying. But I can't. No,
It's a loser.
No, that was put when we said about why are these people in prison, because they're losers. But
You're called Bozo the Clown.
I know, but clearly that's just it, the name just to come on and incite trouble, isn't it? But what I want to point out is that because they're losers, it's because they are losers. So if you want to put something in there, listen, other people, I will point out your grammar. Wrong. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well.
When you it's actually written, it's hilarious because it's like, because they're losers, like, oh, they're mine. They're mine.
Oh dear, dude. You really are a clown. Keep
I
it
love
stiff.
it. Rose of the Clown, acting.
Welcome. Thank you for the view.
And hello, ladies. It's nice to see you all there. And obviously, Lou shouting out Tyler as well. We'll definitely get him on here.
I need to speak to Tyler.
For sure. But the point that I was going to make before I came to the chat point is, for a long, long time, I didn't realise how ADHD I was, or that there was a name for it or anything like that. I knew there was something different, and I knew
The severity of your ADHD.
yeah, now I'm not. Oh my God, the older I get, the more obvious it is. But what I'd done so when I first left school, my job was in hospitality industry. So for a long time, I wasn't having to get up in the morning, and that played into my biggest needs, which was I don't sleep till 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'll sleep in. So because I was waitressing, I'd never noticed that as an issue. I was active. I was, walking around. It was like
The lifestyle was working for you.
Yeah. And then when I first went to work into schools, that's when I had my first major breakdown, because suddenly I was being forced to get up at a certain time. And then that meant forcing myself to try and sleep for a certain time the night before. So this whole...
The stress happens the day before you've even entered the day.
So it all started crumbling as I started to conform, and it didn't last long. I was only in mainstream kind of proper work for 5 years before I'd had a full breakdown. Still didn't know what the problem was, but I knew I just couldn't do it anymore. So I went self-employed and became a self-employed tutor, because that then gave me the flexibility to work when I could work and sleep when I wanted to sleep.
Definitely.
And for years and years and years, I was relating to these ADHD kids, but in a way that, maybe I used to be ADHD. There still wasn't that level of research back then, even 5 years ago, for adult ADHD. It was just, I don't know, there was this void. But
The void.
But yeah, then when I'm reflecting on, how did I get this far then? If I'm that severely ADHD, obviously there's the protective factors that I already mentioned. I was like, brought up in a loving, nurturing family. It's definitely hereditary. When you look through my family line, it's so clear where the ADHD is like coming down. But the other thing that had helped me was building my lifestyle around my needs and my desires. Not everybody has got the courage to do that, because not
necessarily the privilege either.
Yeah, definitely. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, and I don't come from a rich family. Nobody supported me while I literally just went for it every single time, and it worked. And a lot of people do say, God, I wouldn't dare have done what you did.
People say that about most of the things you do.
Yeah, and maybe
buying a bus.
Yeah, but that's the thing. My ADHD does make me quite impulsive. Does mean that I do things without truly thinking it through. Sometimes I'm quite instinctively led. If I want to do something, I don't need to weigh it up. I'm like, I know I want to do it. So yeah, I made all these choices, and even like I didn't want to have kids, because I knew, I was like, I'm too hype of this, I'm too focused on this, I'm too selfish for this. So even not having kids, not necessarily I'm in a committed relationship now, but I was never bothered about getting married. So I think I created my lifestyle to suit my needs, and that for me is absolutely key. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about the education system being shook up, being destroyed, and then started again. And the same even with the work system. Why are we working 9 to 5? Why aren't we working 7 till 3 and 12 till 9? And I know there are shift work out there. So that is kind of what I'm saying, that find what's gonna support you. If you know you're a night owl, find work that's going to support that.
Your night shifts.
Yeah, if you know you're an early bird, find those shifts that are going to support that. Hopefully, society is going to catch up sooner rather than later.
It's that difference between equality and equity, isn't it? It's like, yes, we all have the privilege to go to education, but we don't have the equity in the sense that I'm not given the right tools to be able to learn at the same level as you.
Yeah.
I'm not, do you know what I mean? So it's giving and it's not
what
just
they
school.
actually need.
It then broadens out to the rest of life. We might have all the same privileges of being able to apply for this job or go to that university, or, I don't know, have that hobby. I was making a point there. Let's go.
Yeah, no, equity and equality.
Equity, yeah. It's giving people that step up they need so that the playing field is level.
I've just noticed something in the chat, but I don't know what that is. You're gonna have to Google it. What's cult of the NTD news?
Would you like to expand on that, Merle?
Yeah, I'm not.
Full to the NDT news. I'll Google it. But
Yeah,
I'm
Google
worried.
it.
Come on.
8 minutes.
Yeah. TD was it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what that refers to, but I'm really keen to know. New Tang Dynasty, is it?
No. I don't know what's coming up right now. Hope you're okay though, dude.
It's something to do with something that's been reported about something we're talking about. Or, like, I'm not sure. Definitely expand, because we're well open to discussing these things and bringing your points forward, for sure. That's why we've got the chat there.
NDT TV is a thing. Epoch Media Group. Why does that ring a bell? That does
Yeah,
ring a
Epoch
bell.
rings. And so it might even have to do with the EasyJet thing, maybe. Let's have a look.
The far right. Oh, we already hate them. Far right international multi-language multi-paper affiliated with the Falun Gong New Religious Movement.
Kat says it might be a
Kat,
a
get your
YouTube channel.
conspiracies out.
Yeah, Kat, you can have a look into this for us, because if any points that are raised, if it's something that we think is really relevant to share, we make content around it. We do extra little videos and put them out in between the shows that we do. So yeah, you've got my curiosity going now.
Oh, he's going on about anti-China. No.
Okay. Well,
no anti-China. No answer anyone.
I've just got some more points I want to make before we get to the end of the time, because
I've up to.
Yeah, the thing that I've just remembered is showers. So this year I started turning the shower to cold at the end of the showers. Don't get me wrong. Now the weather, I'm struggling to do it. But even though I'm struggling to do it, I do notice a massive difference. So the research shows on that having a cold shower boosts your dopamine the same way that medication does. So you get it's like a 2-hour thing. So if you had a cold shower in the morning, you'll get a 2-hour boost. Then if you did your exercise at lunchtime, you'll get another 2-hour boost. And it definitely does, like, whether it is just because it's cold. So
okay, I'm up.
Say if I'm going somewhere and I'm feeling a bit drowsy, I will blast it on cold, and I know I'm going to feel great after. So cold showers is definitely one. And then weighted blanket as well. That's something else that I've put in this year. And
these are both two things that I haven't fully tried, and I'm going to give them a go.
The weighted blanket is unreal. Like, every time I climb into my bed and get this, I've got it on my bed so I sleep with it, and I'll get under my duvet and it's on top of the duvet, and oh my god, it like pushes the quilt all the way around every single little nook and cranny.
That's why I feel like I want to try it, and it's not for necessarily mental health reasons, but for my eczema. I can't stand like a cover over me and then it's just like tickling a little bit, or just tickle it, or like you move and like some of it will just tickle on the back. Like, no.
Yeah, that
be over me or don't.
Yeah. I like weight anyway.
Yes.
And then there was one other thing that I just remembered and thought, oh my god, I've got to say that, and now I can't remember it. You had some though, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got 3 things for self-care that I would like people to do, maybe until next week. I'm going to be doing it the same. There's 3 things. One of them is create your own mental safe space. So I don't know if you've got a favorite holiday destination or a place that you go to, whether it's your mum's living room or something like that, where you can literally, and it's just a case of visualizing, do it in your meditation, so that when you're stressed, no matter where you are, you can just go somewhere, lock into that place, think of the smells, the sights, the sounds. I had a lecturer once that she was Cypriot. And she said that one of the memories she had as a kid was when she was too hot, she'd lie on the really cold floor, really cold tile. And it was just this, and that's what she'd do. She hated the dentist. And it went from, being a grown woman crying at the dentist because of the anxiety, to the point where she'd go in there, lay back and be like, oh, it's done. She was like, I was actually in Cyprus then. The more that you do this practice, the more powerful it is, the more useful it is. And it literally gives you that little vacation that you need just for 5 minutes. For go as long as you want. But if you're in the middle of the day trying to do stuff, then yeah, obviously that's going to be just getting small increments. So yeah, get your good plays. I should have said the first one is support. Get your support team. Anyone that you can help you. Tell them right now, this is going to be a hard time. I might need you for the next few months while I can't get my medication or whatever the thing is.
And if you know anyone that's struggling, please point them to this channel, because 7 till 8 o'clock every Wednesday, they get to join in.
Definitely. Come and, DM us, message us if you need any help. That's what we're here for. Go to the website at differenthumandesign.co.uk. Get all the help that you deserve, your resources. Create your team, your support team.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, create a compassion box. And again, this comes into talking to yourself better. When you're in a time that is stressful for you, being able to go to your compassion box and just, again, it's like your happy space, your happy place. But if you struggle to visualize or meditate, then this might be the one that you try best. So everyone knows what a memory box is, and it's very similar to that. Anything that gives you a good feeling. It could be pictures that give you memories. It can be a DVD. It could be a CD, a song, a link to a page that helps you. It could be a blanket, a T-shirt that smells of someone, or anything that you can, make a whole box of it, so that when you're having these moments where you're struggling, you can administer your self-care, self-soothing, just by looking at these items, by smelling the item, by really picturing the time, go back to it. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make my compassion box, and next week
Shall we bring it in?
We'll start it. And yeah, be as wild. It can be a digital one on your phone, if you've got links and stuff like that. It can be a physical one. I strongly encourage you, because it's kind of a fun task, right?
Yeah,
going around the house being like, oh,
nice.
I like this. Oh, I like this. It could be your favorite chocolate bar. It just means that you can go to that place and be like,
I'd just definitely eat it.
I'll take the dopamine where I can. Thank you very much.
Just saying about the compassion box, though, me and Lou were speaking earlier. Shout out, Lou. About the fact that we're always checking our phone battery, and we're well aware of when our phone battery needs filling, and we're well aware how to charge it, and it gets prioritized of being charged, once a day, twice a day, overnight, whatever. But why don't we apply that same to our social battery, to our soul battery?
Definitely.
There's just so much emphasis put on everything else and not on ourselves.
I saw Sedge actually put a similar post to that, and it was about you upgrade your phone, you upgrade this in your life, you do that. Why aren't you upgrading the new you?
Or even, you don't think twice about spending money on crap, basically. But then when it comes to something like therapy or a vitamin or something that might actually help,
£40 is a lot. Yeah, it is, but it's nothing on the drinks you just caned this weekend.
Yeah, that kind of comparison.
Exactly. Assuming that you're caning drinks at the weekend, which you wouldn't be.
That was the
beautiful audience.
That was the other thing. Yeah, so I read the chat, which says, so when I've just said about my lifestyle, and it wasn't until I had a breakdown kind of thing that I really realised, oh, there's something up here. And this is what we're getting shared as well, that couldn't settle at all until I had a complete physical and mental breakdown, and then it's almost like that fresh start. But the going alcohol-free thing for me, I can't believe I'd forgot that point. That has been a life changer. It, honest to God, has been a life changer. So if you're curious about it, just go for it. Just try it.
Yeah,
you will not regret it.
You've recently done festivals, holidays, and a wedding. Recently. A wedding. Has any of those moments made you wish you were drinking?
No. honest. And even it's got to the point now where I was and ahhing on, New Year's Day, am I going to have a glass of red wine? I've decided I'm not. I'm just going to stay sober. I'm genuine. I'm like, I don't want to give this up. And there's nothing about alcohol that's tempting me at all.
It's fantastic. If you want to get any help with trying this for yourself, don't wait till the new year. Do it whenever you want to.
Yeah, make a start.
Flamingo AF, if you've not heard of them, are two brilliant ladies who basically do what we do with ADHD, but they do it for alcohol-free. Yeah. They hold alcohol-free raves. They have a support group. They do everything. It's
and
all
guess
online.
Who's going to one on Sunday?
So excited.
Yeah, so excited.
I'm, as you know, I've not been not drinking this year, but I generally don't drink that often anyway, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really, really good fun to hook up with them as well, because they are called Steph and Lily, so it's like Lily and Steph, Lindsay and Steph.
Yeah, Lily's blonde, Steph's got brown hair. It's very like.
And Lily's a quite hyperactive ADHDer as well, isn't she? So we've got that crossover, which is great. I'm really looking forward to hooking up with them pair.
Like us in a different life.
And we're going to bring them on to a show as well, because there's so much
that
when it comes to alcohol and our brain type, and there's so much that we want to cover there.
Yeah, we're not just ending up in prison, we're ending up with addiction. So
yeah,
all the help we can get, and that crossover is perfect. You know what I mean? They are.
Yeah, so we will definitely be reporting back about our experience on Sunday. And it's Halloween this weekend.
It's Halloween. Well, Halloween will be on
Tuesday.
So, yeah, if you're celebrating Halloween, you're probably celebrating it this weekend. And then on Tuesday is the actual Halloween. And what's happening that day?
Our podcast will be released.
It's technically not a podcast. I don't know what else to say. It is a
document.
I suppose so. A short film. A short.
I'm excited. Made a film.
Ghost hunting.
Yes.
Spooky bus. So please, Tuesday.
Spooky bus.
You ain't seen it yet. By the way, much has like the stuff that I have found editing it that I didn't quite pick up while it was happening. The more scarier things have happened since. I'm not even joking. I mean, I've been cursed ever since. It took ages to get rid of that curse.
We need to get back on the saging and the cleansing.
Get it all out. Yeah. So Tuesday is our Halloween special. So please watch that, and we'll go over it a little bit on the Wednesday, I suppose.
And when we go live on Wednesday next week, I'm just going to put it out there that we are going to be covering a touchy subject next week, which is the subject of death. So I'm going to put it out there now, because
just a warning.
Yeah. I used to suffer with really, really bad anxiety around health and with death, and I've overcome that in the last year. I really want to share it, but I'm aware that if I was listening to this a year ago, I'd feel so triggered. So, but that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I think it's so important that people aren't triggered by the subject.
Definitely.
I understand why you would be.
It's a gentle invite, but at the same time, look after yourselves. If you don't feel like it's a topic that you can discuss, if it's too soon after a recent, experience with yourself, just please don't feel you have to watch it.
We are going to be keeping healing ourselves and grieving in positive ways, and looking at kind of spirituality around it, mediumship, all sorts. So it'll be a really interesting, upbeat discussion.
Dia de los Muertos, is it? Day of the Dead?
Yeah. Day of the Dead. So
if you want some Spanish there, Merle.
So we'll be really on point. I'll be definitely bringing my spirit grandma to the show.
They are speaking Spanish. Nombre 666. Yes, yes. I don't know if they're trying to recruit us into the anti-China cult or
the Halloween clown. Do you remember that when the clowns went around attacking people? That was quite scary. And now
that was fake.
No, one jumped out at me in Glenfield when I was walking my dog.
Oh my god!
And and I went. He jumped out and we stared at each other. And I went, "Can I take a photo?" Took a photo of him. Everyone was like, "You took a photo." I was like, "Well, my dog was way too decrepit and fat to run." So I was like, "Okay, I just want to prove to someone that this happened to me. A clown jumped out at me."
It's ADHD for you. I realised how easy it is to actually get yourself in danger. While we were in Camden, we're just looking for somewhere to eat. We're stood on this road. There's a few places around. Some guy smoking a cigarette off to the side just goes, "Smoke, you got that?" We were like,
"Is he selling us drugs?"
We got in there. I went there. I was like, I sat down. I was like, that might have been the easiest kidnapping to have ever happened. They just abducted us. We could have walked into anything. It's kind of the same. You come face to face with a potential serial killer, and you're like, "Can I take a picture of you, please?"
Just to prove to my friends. I am obsessed with taking photos. I am obsessed. So there you go.
That makes me laugh. That's so funny. So yeah, just a recap on the ways that you can help yourself: diet, exercise, drink lots of water, self-support, self-care, get your support team,
weighted blanket, cold showers,
blankets,
less than the sugar, less than the alcohol,
100%.
Laugh.
Have a good giggle.
Yeah, please.
There was one more thing as well, and that was for the giveaways. There's a way that you can get something from us.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I've spent all day doing this, and then I was going to forget about it.
Yeah, I just thought about it now, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this out. How do I find it?
It's in the shop, so get the screen up so they can see.
Okay, if you go to differenthumandesign.co.uk, you will find our lovely website.
Yes, go to the shop.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, go to the shop. Are you in it? Oh yeah, and scroll down, and then here we go.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to scroll on that.
There we are. Halloween free fun quiz. Click on that. Download
Alright,
it. Free
Okay.
fun quiz.
Free phone quiz. It's hard to not put NF in front of quiz. I give you that.
Yes, download the quiz. You can take part for fun. If you return the answers to us, we are going to be doing a prize draw next week. So there's goodies to be won. Just lots of fun Halloween goodies. But take part just for a bit of fun, or return the answers to us. It is all on there as well. There's a picture round, and then there's like a cryptic Halloween.
Definitely.
Round.
You can return your answers to a different podcast official at gmail.com.
And I think I've put the Lindsay ADHD one on there as well. So I'll make sure that there's definitely a return address on there.
We said what you can win.
Well, it's just lots of Halloween goodies, I think.
We've got Halloween goodies. So if you get it in and you win, then there'll be, I think we'll do more than one winner.
Yeah, we'll definitely do more than one winner. And if it's a family, we'll make sure that you get like a good old like bumper hamper thing so that like, everyone gets something.
Yeah. The idea of like 4 for you and your friends, little like gift box things. These are more aimed at children. However,
on glow in the rubber ducks things.
there's a little colouring book. There's a little like colourful pen thing. There's sweets in there.
Yes.
Stay off the sugar, but there's sweets in there.
Yeah, download it and have some fun.
There's this cool scratchy art thing.
Lars, trying to give up the alcohol, good on you. Just take every day as a separate day. Each day is its own day battle, and that's what I see it as, you know. It's like,
100%.
even when I decided I was going to do it for the year, I was like, it's just 1 January the 1st, and next year I can drink, and it's just 1 January the 2nd, next year I can drink. So just doing the day at the time and knowing that you can go back to it if you want to.
Those little things where you get yourself your dopamine, realize, reflect, get your, yeah, I can do this. If you do that in between, it's so much easier than trying to do it and then reflecting at the end when you fail, going, oh, that was really hard.
To be honest, the minute you have one night, like at that wedding, I was stumbling all over the place. My brother's like, are you sure you're not drunk? But I was just so happy and high. Real. You have, but you wouldn't know unless you go a night without it. So for me, I feel tricked. I'm like, I can't believe I've had 20 years of not just giving it that one chance to realise, oh, this is great.
There you go. So yeah, Logan. It's because it says LJ Hogan.
Yeah,
My
Hogan.
brain just put them words together. That's hilarious. Logan, shout out. I know if you see him, miss you. I miss baby Logan. But yeah, Lars, my New Year's resolution is to start roller skating. I want to be able to do a full turn and then skate and then turn while I'm zipping.
Footage, Stefan.
So that's going to start in the new year because I can't afford / have any time to do that yet. But that will be my thing for the new year. So if we can keep each other accountable for our own...
Loz, we are going to do an alcohol-free event at the end of the year as well. So it's not kind of worked out the details of it yet. So we'll definitely be in touch. I'd love to see you there. Yeah. Well,
That's us.
it's been different.
Different. This is Lindsay.
And this is Steph.
We are a different human design.
This is a different podcast. Good night.
Right, guys. See you next week.
Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, we invite it. You don't agree that you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, we invite it. You don't agree that